Hey guys, it's Jan, Not a Real Farm. So long time no see. It's been the end of the season and we are starting to collect seed here at Not a Real Farm. Now, what I wanted to show you guys today is that this greenhouse has not been watered for almost a week and a half. Let's walk on through. Remember, I used to be in here on the videos watering. We have gotten a lot of cold lately, so they're not very happy. It's about that time now to shut everything down. But take a look how beautiful and healthy the plants are. And I haven't been in here in a week and a half. Isn't that amazing? So naturally, there are some things that I want to let die down on their own. I want to have the horseradish leaves this year sort of die down on their own so that I can get in there a little bit more easier and take out the horseradish. So you can see now I can actually see the bottom of my garden bed. Makes it a whole lot easier to get in there. The roses, of course, are doing fine. I'm not even sure you can kill a rose, guys. Look how big they've gotten. I'm so proud of them. They started out from nothing, and now they're almost pretty much combined together over the trellis. And then the blackberries have done amazing. All of that in there pretty much are blackberries next to the roses. We had a pretty successful crop this year with blackberries. Pretty proud of that as well, especially because these are blackberries that really aren't supposed to be growing in our climate, but they do love growing in the greenhouse. And then, of course, the tomatoes are now shutting down. So tomorrow I'm going to be in here doing a lot of cutting. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Check out the blackberries. So these blackberries are still producing even though the weather has changed cold. Look at the size of these blackberries. So these are a prime arc blackberry, sort of just changing the subject back here. And it took me about 2.5 years to really get them to grow like this. Really didn't pay them too much special attention. What I do realize is a lot of the times people say you have to prune them right down to the ground because of the fact that it's on a primocane. So once these are done this year with fruiting on this cane here, I will trim down the cane that is fruited on, because with a primocane, they will never fruit on the same cane again. So we'll get rid of that this year and trim this particular cane right down. For the rest of them that haven't fruited, we're going to leave those alone and we're going to see what we get out of that. But amazing. So it looks like I'm still going to be eating blackberries going into November, which I'm happy about. And I think I was on the topic of tomatoes. So I still actually have tomatoes in there that are still producing. My tomatillo really didn't like it this year in the greenhouse, so that's just going to be torn out. He's just sort of doing nothing, hanging out, doing nothing this year. He grew all the way up the cattle panel, and I didn't get one tomatillo. Not one. It was the strangest thing. And then over here, we've got paste tomatoes, we've got celebrity tomatoes. So as you can see, the weather has started to affect these now inside the greenhouse. They're starting to die down, so now it's time to sort of cut these out. I did, however, get some peppers. So these are a miniature orange pepper that I grew, so he's not going to get any bigger than that. And actually, before the weather changed, it was doing pretty good. Producing, the peppers were really slow this year, but definitely still producing. So we'll be keeping the seed from this guy. And then over here, check it out. We did pretty good with these guys. Not bad. These, of course, are the hot wax peppers. So I left them on this year to go red. We'll be saving the seed from these as well. Now, last year I got a little bit bigger hot wax peppers, but that's okay. I'm the only one eating them this year, so I don't mind. We have a pumpkin spice pepper here. He's not having a great time with the cold, and I'm going to say we're probably not going to get anything produced out of this because it did turn pretty cold. Then we have our poblano pepper. So great for salsa, has a little bit of heat. We'll be taking that guy off the vine today. Oh, we have another one down here too. Check that out. Oh, awesome. Check that out. I don't know if you guys have seen the cost of peppers in the grocery store, but I refuse to pay almost $9 for peppers. So if that means that, we didn't have a successful crop this year, we're going to save the seeds from the ones that did grow and we will regrow them in the greenhouse next year. This one is still putting on peppers. You can see how small they are. Very, very bite-sized peppers. Doing pretty good. But at the same time, once again, the weather's changed. The cold has set in. Here's a bigger one here. These are our pumpkin spice peppers. So now you get to sort of see what they look like starting out really small. Not too bad. I'm going to give it credit. The weather has actually changed colder faster this year. You can see my celebrity hybrid tomatoes here. They're falling off. They're ready to be harvested. You can see here in the back of the canal panel, I still have tomatoes. And it is mid-October. So this rocks. Elephant ear peppers. We're trying to push out another pepper here. You know, guys, you know how the weather changes. In my area, it's blink, and all of a sudden it changes again. So we got one little small elephant ear pepper. These ones normally grow pretty big, so it didn't really help with the weather change. Our fish peppers are still trying to grow. If I took these off right now, I could probably eat these. They're going to be super hot. And then you can see the rest down the row here. Everything needs to be harvested or just completely cut out because they're done. Everything is done here. Okay, so we did have beans over a trellis here. Now these were runner beans. I just wanted to have some fun with the runner beans, but you can tell here that they really, really didn't produce too much. Most likely because the greenhouse is probably a little bit too hot when I planted them, but they did make a beautiful trellis. I did get one or two pods here. You can take a look. You can see how big these are. So this is a Greek runner bean. This is why it's so big. It's a gigantic Greek runner bean. So I'm going to let this guy dry down here on the actual vine, and then we'll save the seeds from that. I don't know if I've got any more. Oh, I might have a few in there. But you can see just how thick inside the bean vine is here. Just how much of it is on there that I'll have to trim down. Here's the flowers. This is the color of the flowers. So when it was in full bloom, it was absolutely amazing. Here, my fig tree is very grumpy, does not like the cold at all, but you can see that it's beginning, or it was beginning before the weather changed, to start producing figs. So most people in this climate will take their figs inside. That is my plan. I'll be taking the fig inside for the winter because he's not happy right now, but big, big, beautiful leaves, super healthy fig, and no doubt that it's going to definitely produce more figs next year. The onions and everything are produced. You can see here I've got big, beautiful green onions. And the herbs refuse to quit. So I've got spearmint that's decided that it wants to grow back. It's funny, once the greenhouse cools down a little bit, you'll see that there are some more plants that actually spring into action more than others. I've got onions. The basil got nice and tall, but now that the weather's changed, it's just strictly going to go to seed. You can see all the seeds that I'm going to produce. So each one of these little pods in here is going to produce a seed. So you can see there's going to be a fair amount of seed that's going to come from this basil plant. Some of them are still okay. I've still got some leaves that if I really wanted to, I could harvest and I could use them in a salad or use them for dinner. And it still smells amazing. And then my coffee plants are not happy at all. It got really, really cold all of a sudden. So they're not used to that. So we'll be taking them inside. And then in here, not happy, but not doing too bad is, of course, our pineapple ground cherry. So you can see I've actually got quite a bit of bushes here. I've got one here. I've got one here. And you can see that there's still quite a bit of... Ooh, that one was ready. Let's see what this one looks like. Still quite a bit of berries on these. Perfect. So when the berry is completely yellow. It is ready to eat. So you can see just off of 2 plants here just how many berries that you can get from the plant. They're everywhere. If you don't happen to see them on the plant anymore, you'll actually find them down on the ground. They last forever. If you don't take them out of your garden bed, they will reseed themselves eagerly and you will have a gazillion pineapple ground cherry plants. But you can see here, this one is ready for, that one is ready for consumption too. Better get that one before it decides it wants to sprout. Whoops. Oh my goodness, I'm not doing good here today, guys. Good grief. Okay, let's get this one. And this one. Let's see what this guy looks like. There we go. So still completely yellow, so that's great. Just sort of turning from green to yellow. You wait till yellow, you've got the best flavored berries you're ever going to taste from a ground cherry. Personally, one of my favorites. Moving right along, you can see here, the blackberry plant has grown right out onto the floor, so we've got to anchor that guy up. And in here, we still have our spoon tomatoes. So the spoon tomatoes are still producing regardless of the cold. These are amazing little tomatoes that I will definitely be growing again next year. I've got lots and lots of these everywhere. We still have quite a bit of work to do. We do have to take all of this out. And guys, this is going to take me a complete day or more to do this. You can see how far up the blackberries have grown up the side of the greenhouse. And you can see how tall those spoon tomatoes have grown too. I don't even think I can reach the top. So they're way up there. Amazing. And of course, in here you can see we have our walking onions. So what I've done is I've harvested the seed from the walking onions, so they will grow again next year. They will produce. I've left them in here. They tend to grow in clumps. You can move them around to wherever you want. And then we had a beautiful purple cauliflower grow, and I didn't have the heart to harvest it. I really wanted to just see what it would do. But now what's happened with the weather is it's sort of sectioned off. You could clip little pieces of it if you wanted to, but isn't that a beautiful purple? Check that out. So eventually what will happen is this is a hybrid, so I'm not going to get any seed from this. It's called a graffiti, in case anybody wants to try it. It tastes wonderful. Very reliable. It's the 2nd year I've grown it. I just didn't want to harvest it this year because it's so beautiful. And of course we have our grapes, so nothing to write home about. There's still a few little grapes hanging on here, but the most important thing we need to do is we need to trim all this grapevine off. We trim all of this, all of the loose leaves and loose vines off, and we keep the new wood that has attached itself in here. So stuff like this. All this new stuff, we can give a trim, or if we want to start from the beginning again, we trim it a little bit shorter. And what will happen is you're now controlling the energy of that vine. The vine will now not put so much energy into all of these greens, but will focus and concentrate. You notice that my grapes are on the lower half of this bush. It's because I actually trimmed the vine and it focused its energy down there. So really what you want to do if you are trying to grow vines is you want to actually trim a lot of this stuff off for the winter time. And if you are brave enough to try growing them outside, what you might want to do is cover them over, trim them right to the ground, and then cover them over, whether that's with straw or some sort of covering for the winter snow, because that will actually protect them and you will get grapes next year. They will grow back. So that's it for me today, guys. Just a really quick overview of what Not a Real Farm is doing and what we're doing right now in the fall. I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's subscribed to the channel. We have now hit our 1,000th subscriber. I believe we've actually hit over that, and that is amazing. Thanks to all of you who have actually stayed on this journey and watched me break all the rules growing in a domed greenhouse out in Manitoba. See you soon.